More in a moment on tomorrow's announcement scheduled by the White House that will extend health care and other benefits to some, at least, of the gay and lesbian partners of federal employees. First, after a week of sanctimonious yammering over a throwaway joke, Governor Sarah Palin of Alaska not only managed to exploit her own daughters, but she got another apology out of David Letterman. But in our number one story, something the governor of Alaska still does not get: the Constitution of the United States of America. The First Amendment, according to Sarah, in a moment. But first, last night, Letterman issuing his second apology to the Palin family, admitting the joke he told involving one of the Palin daughters and Yankees third baseman Alex Rodriguez was coarse and flawed, remarking that if such a joke had to be told about one of the people attending a Yankees game with the governor, it should have been about Rudy Giuliani.
I told a bad joke. I told a joke that was beyond flawed, and my intent is completely meaningless compared to the perception. And since it was a joke I told, I feel that I need to do the right thing here and apologize for having told that joke. It's not your fault that it was misunderstood. It's my fault that it was misunderstood. Thank you. So I would like to apologize, especially to the two daughters involved, Bristol and Willow, and also to the governor and her family and everybody else who was outraged by the joke. I'm sorry about it, and I'll try to do better in the future. Thank you very much.
The governor then entered statement-issuing mode, starting well but not exactly finishing up strong. Of course it's accepted on behalf of young women like my daughters who hope men who joke about public displays of sexual exploitation of girls will soon evolve. Letterman certainly has the right to joke about whatever he wants to, and thankfully we have the right to express our reaction. And this is all thanks to our U.S. military women and men putting their lives on the line for us to secure America's right to free speech. In this case, may that right be used to promote equality and respect. Governor, how many times do we have to go through with this? The First Amendment does not apply to stuff people say on television. Nevertheless, an estimated massive crowd, sometimes approaching 40, gathered outside the Ed Sullivan Theater in protest of Letterman late this afternoon. No word yet on who will rally on behalf of Alex Rodriguez. Joining me now, Washington editor of The Week magazine, political columnist for Bloomberg News, Margaret Carlson. Margaret, good evening.
Good evening, Keith.
The governor tried to use the First Amendment as a defense for Carrie Prejean. What do we have to do to get this point across to her? Stuff said on television, whether she likes that stuff or she does not like that stuff, is not protected by freedom of speech. The First Amendment only applies to keeping the government from keeping you from telling a bad joke.
Well, if only Governor Palin could see the First Amendment from her front porch in Alaska, she might understand it slightly better. I mean, the First Amendment protects David Letterman from Governor Sarah Palin, not Governor Sarah Palin from David Letterman. And, you know, this last apology wasn't a sincere apology, which David Letterman gave the other night. The one I saw was compelling television. This one was the lawyer's apology in reaction to Governor Palin's supporters threatening a boycott of CBS. I think she should have settled for the first one, but if you want to keep the story going, this is how you do it. You have a statement every time you're apologized to.
But now, does she have a statement after the protest turned out to max out at about 40 people, and the guy who inspired it, as soon as he saw that there was no crowd there, got into a cab and got the hell out of there as quickly as he could?
Well, you know, lawyers unfortunately respond to one threat of a boycott. It only takes one person, so the 40 were enough to frighten them. You know, perhaps this is why she dragged the military into it, which have very little to do with this. In fact, you know, when they're done in Iraq, they might come to Alaska to you know, to protect anybody from Governor Sarah Palin trying to diminish their First Amendment rights. This is the military cannot help Governor Sarah Palin in this regard, and I think she just brought them into it to, you know, add a little melodrama to this latest statement. I mean, the thing is petering out, and if Governor Palin actually had, you know, a substantive speech to give, an issue she really cared about, if she'd wanted to show up at the big fundraiser last week and give a speech, which she didn't do, she wouldn't have dragged this out this long, and she wouldn't have made, by the way, a public figure out of that second daughter, who someday may ask Governor Sarah Palin for an apology.
The other topic tonight that we're just hearing from, now Chuck Todd has confirmed it for us at MSNBC. This was apparently in the White House schedule that was released about an hour and a half ago, that tomorrow at 5:45, the president delivers brief remarks and signs a presidential memorandum regarding federal benefits and non-discrimination. And now the sources in the White House are saying that means they're going to extend health care and other benefits to gay and lesbian partners of federal employees. Does that mesh in with what we've seen from this White House that was supporting Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and just came out on the wrong side of defense of marriage and all the rest of that?
Well, President Obama staked out he's not in favor of protection for, federal marriage rights for gay people. But he's, during his campaign and now, he's for every other kind of protection. I think the Don't Ask, Don't Tell modification is down the road. But he's long advocated partner rights, health care rights, hospital rights, inheritance rights for gay partners, and this is just following up on that and an extension of that to federal protection for having those rights.
Well, we'll see it in depth at 5:45 Eastern Time tomorrow. Margaret Carlson of Bloomberg News and The Week magazine, as always, great thanks on both topics.
Good night, Keith.